you can just push that play button. Wonderful. All right, thank you so much everyone for attending this demonstration today on Immersive Reader. Really excited to be here with everyone. My name is Kaylee Cook and I am a trainer for our Tyson's Corner team with Microsoft. I'm also joined by my colleague Larissa Soto today. So Larissa is going to be moderating the chat, making sure if anyone has any questions, they're being addressed. And please feel free to utilize that chat. Now today, our purpose for this demonstration is to showcase Immersive Reader, and we're going to talk about how to utilize this tool and where you can utilize it in your Microsoft 365 environment. So we're not actually focusing on any of the applications itself that we're seeing today, but we want to showcase how you can use Immersive Reader and where you can utilize it in applications like the ones you will see. So really excited to get started. I'm going to go ahead and progress my slide here and just answer an essential question that we have, which is what is Immersive Reader? So Immersive Reader is an inclusive learning comprehension tool, and it provides users with a variety of tools that support learning processes and equitable education for users of all abilities.
You're on mute, Kaylee.
Thank you so much, Larissa. How long was I on mute for there?
For like a couple of seconds.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll just start back to the top of what Immersive Reader is. So Immersive Reader is an inclusive learning comprehension tool, and it provides users with a variety of tools that support learning processes and equitable education for users of all abilities. I want you to think about Immersive Reader as immersive learning. It's integrated throughout Microsoft 365 applications, as well as Minecraft for Education and Flipgrid. And you'll find that Immersive Reader truly sets platforms such as Microsoft Teams apart with its valuable inclusive tools for students and teachers. It was originally designed and focused around students with dyslexia, but it helps all readers with their reading abilities. One use case for this tool is consider students that are emerging readers that haven't been able to access the text themselves, and then a parent or a teacher has to read it to them, or that student just hopes nobody notices, right? So with Immersive Reader, they now have a way of having the text read to them no matter what the text is. And the use cases for Immersive Reader are endless and for every type of learner. Personally, I use Immersive Reader nearly every day in my work life. For my job as a trainer, I spend many hours reading resources that help me prepare for trainings, and sometimes it's hard to comprehend and focus on so much content. With Immersive Reader, I have found that having the content read out loud is going to help me get through my content a little bit better, and I can also do other things while I'm having it read. I also really like that there is line focus in Immersive Reader. So when I'm learning new content, it really helps me focus and absorb on what I'm learning. So Immersive Reader is a fantastic tool for 100% of students, and it allows teachers to gain back valuable time into their day with having built-in tools accessible to their students. It allows for universal access of content, and it lessens stigma with its integrative tools for everyone. In this final slide here, I just wanted to briefly showcase some of the applications that Immersive Reader is currently available in. So you're going to find it in all of the versions of OneNote. You're going to see it in Word, which I'm going to demonstrate today. It's also in your Outlook email and other applications such as Teams and Forms. So it's integrated throughout your Microsoft 365 application, and it's really going to help empower you and your students with these valuable tools. And I'm really excited to showcase this with you today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share my desktop, and we're going to take a look at some examples of how we can use this. So I'm going to pull up my desktop here. And then Larissa, if you can just let me know when you can see my office.com portal.
We can see your screen.
Fantastic. Thank you, ma'am. So what I'm going to do here first is I'm going to go ahead and open up Microsoft Word, and I have a document that we're going to take a look at today with this tool. And I'm just opening up my document here. And I'm inside of Word on the web in my office.com portal. And up here, this is my ribbon, and I'm going to go to the tab that says View. And we're going to go over here in View, and I'm going to click on Immersive Reader. And as you can see, as soon as I open up Immersive Reader, it's already simplified the interface for me here, so it's a little bit easier to focus on the content, and there's not any distractions, and I can start to focus on this content. And the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a look at the tools to have it read out loud right down here. So I've got my play button. I'm going to go ahead and click play.
Oh, the Amazon rainforest.
Okay.
The Amazon rainforest is an expansive forest.
And Larissa, if you can just verify that you're able to hear that.
Yes, we were able to hear that.
Fantastic. Thank you, ma'am. So this is where I can have it read out loud. And then I'm going to go ahead and open up my voice settings. And I have the ability to change it from male to female. And I can also change the speed. So a little tip that I personally like to use is I will turn up the voice speed just a little bit faster than what I typically read, and it actually helps you focus on the content a little better. So I'm going to go ahead and do it again.
Forest located in the Amazon basin. The forest covers an.
If I want to focus more on pronunciation as a student, I can also turn it down. So towards the tortoise
An
there.
area as large as the 48 contiguous United.
It's really going to help us focus on our pronunciation here and sound out the words. Now let's take a deeper look at Immersive Reader. Those are the basic functions, but we've got a plethora of options up here, and we're going to start in text preferences. So the first thing I can do here is I can go ahead and increase that text size. And I can make it larger or I can make it smaller. And this is a really valuable tool for example, students with dyslexia for having a short line mode for this format. It could also be for sight word practice, maybe students with low vision. I have this option available. And down here, I have the ability to turn on increased spacing. Go ahead and turn that on. And we know from researchers that visual crowding is something that a lot of people struggle with. And research has also shown by increasing the text spacing, that can really help out with that. So we've got this ability to increase that spacing right inside of Immersive Reader here. Now we also have some font options, as we can see, Calibri and Sitka. And I always like to highlight Comic Sans because Comic Sans was actually designed for young readers because it mimics the way that early learners are taught how to write. So it's a really fantastic font for those young learners. Now down here, we've also got some themes. And this is a great way for our students to make this environment more fun for them and customize it with different colors. I always like to highlight the dark theme as well. If, for example, you or your students are staring at a screen for a long period of time, having this dark mode is going to be a little bit easier on your eyes, and it's also going to help that content stand out as well. So we love the dark theme. Now I'm going to go up here and I'm going to open up some more tools for us in the grammar options. And the first thing I'm going to see here is the ability to turn on syllables. So with this, our students, our early readers or non-native speakers, they have this ability to turn on the syllables and really work on their pronunciation and sounding out words. And down here, we've got our parts of speech. So we can turn on nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs. And as you can see, they're all color-coded in this document. If we have our own color coding system, what we can actually do is we can go inside here and we can change these colors. Or if our students want to change the colors just for their own personal learning, they have that ability as well. Now right here, this is the ability to turn those labels on and off. So if we have any students that are perhaps colorblind, this is a really valuable tool to help be inclusive for those students. Now we're going to dive into our last section here. We've got our reading preferences. And the first option we're going to see right here is line focus. And this is the one that I mentioned that I personally love with Immersive Reader. It really helps you focus on that content line by line. And as we can see,
United States.
Field Museum scientists estimate 16.
we're going to have each line one by one read. Now this next option that we're going to see here is Picture Dictionary. And this is a really valuable tool for early learners as well. And what this is going to do for us is we're going to go on our document here. And we're going to click on a word. And we're going to see a picture illustrating the definition of that word. So we're going to see rainforest here. I'll click a regular forest. I'll scroll down a little bit. We'll click on tree. We're going to see another image. Not every single word is going to have an image, but a large majority of these words are, and it's really going to help increase that learning process. Now back into our reading preferences. This is the tool that I'm really excited to showcase for you guys today, and that is the ability to translate this document as well. So up to 60 languages are currently available for translation in Immersive Reader, and that number is constantly growing as they add more languages and dialects. I'm going to select a language, and then I've got two options here. One is by word, and the other one is by document. And let's go ahead and take a look at the one by word. So now I'm going to go back to my word tree here, and if I click on it, I see the English version here, and I also see the Spanish version, and I can go ahead and click to listen.
Árboles.
And with that picture dictionary turned on as well, I'm furthering that learning process by having it all clear to see here. Now the last one is really exciting. We're going to turn on document translation. And what this is going to do for us is it's going to give us the ability to toggle back and forth between the two languages. So here we are in our default English, and I can have it read out loud, of course. And then I'm going to switch over to my Spanish version. And
Hola, selva amazónica. La selva amazónica. Debido a esto, su densa biodiversidad animal, su mayor singular.
So as you can see, it's really helpful for language learners. I can toggle back and forth between the different ones. And I can also click on a single word and see the two translations. So really, really powerful tools here. It's really helping create this content universally available for all students. And it's also creating a really inclusive environment that's also fun for our students as well with the customization features we're seeing. Now, I'm really excited to showcase the other places that you can use Immersive Reader. But before I move on and showcase that, do we have any questions at this time about Immersive Reader or how to use it inside of Word?
We have no questions so far.
Wonderful. Thank you, Larissa. So what I'm going to do next is I want to show you some other use cases for Immersive Reader in our Office 365 environment. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to my application lists. And I'm going to go ahead and open up Microsoft Teams. And if you're not familiar with Teams, Teams is the hub for teamwork, communication, and collaboration. And in our virtual learning space, we have teams set up as classes where we can communicate with our students. And I just want to showcase, just to start here, I'm going to go to my Files tab. I'm in my Physical Science Teams class. And I have that exact same document saved inside of my files. And I just wanted to showcase really quick here that I can not only access this document inside of Teams, but I can go back up to my ribbon, just like before, and click on Immersive Reader and have this document translated, or excuse me, have this document, yes, translated for me, use my grammar tools or my text preferences. I have all of that available to me inside of this environment. It's really fantastic. But I want to show you some use cases that are specific to Teams. And this is really helpful to create a unique environment where our students have access to these tools. So I'm inside of a channel right here. This is where I am communicating with my class. And I have just uploaded a little demo for an upcoming quiz. And I want my students to review this content. So this announcement right here, I'm just hovering over it and I see these options popping up. And this little ellipses right here, this is going to open up more options. And what I can do is I can scroll down and there's Immersive Reader. So I'll go ahead and open it up and I can have this correspondence read out loud to me.
Tara Coleman at Wednesday, October 7th, 2020, 6:13 p.m. Review for upcoming.
And I've got all of my other tools. I've got my text preferences so we can increase, decrease that size, turn the spacing on and off, all of my parts of speech. I've got line focus available. So all of these tools are available to me inside of this correspondence, which is really fantastic. So that's one use case. I'm going to show us two more. And I'm going to go into chat, which inside Teams, this is a one-to-one conversation, a group conversation, or if you're inside of a Teams meeting like we are today for our demonstration, we have a chat conversation as well. And this is a message that I sent to this other demo tenant, which is a student. And I'm hovering over that message I sent to Ashley. There's my ellipses, so more options. And once again, I have my Immersive Reader. So as you can see, this tool is integrated inside of this environment, and my students have the ability to use these tools inside of Teams. Now, one more user case I'm going to show you inside of this environment. And I'm going to go into my assignments real quick, and I'm just going to click on an assignment I have here. And what I have pulled up right here, this is how a student would see their assignment that is assigned inside of Teams. And what I wanted to showcase is right here. Once again, I have Immersive Reader. So that student can click on this. It's going to open up the assignment details and they can have it read out loud.
Cells quiz number 1. Category, cells.
And they've got all of those tools available to them once again. So it's really exciting to see how integrated this is, and it's really creating an inclusive environment for our students. Now I'm going to show you guys a couple of more places inside of our Microsoft 365 environment, but do we have any questions at this time about Immersive Reader or how to utilize it inside of Teams?
You have a couple of questions about how to use it in Word and a PDF. Those are over in the chat box.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Larissa, wouldn't you mind reading those out loud?
Yeah, of course. Can you review over Immersive Reader on Word? And does it only work with Word documents? Another question that we have, is it available on PDFs?
that is a great question. And I'll start off with the Word one. So I'm inside of my Word document right here. And in this ribbon, I'm going to go to the tab that says View. And then all I have to do is click on Immersive Reader right here. And it's going to open it up. And I've got my tools available to me. I've got my play button right here to have it read out loud. My settings for the read out loud. My text preferences. My grammar options. And my reading preferences. Now for this,
I'm sorry, I didn't stop you, but and when you're doing that, you're using the online version of Word, or are you using the desktop version?
So I am using the online version of Word. However, it is available in the desktop application. And it's going to be in the same place. You're just going to go to View, just like I showcased right here, and you'll see Immersive Reader in your desktop app. Now, there was a second question, and it was in regards to a PDF, correct, Larissa?
Correct.
So you should have the ability inside of OneNote to insert a PDF, and I believe you can use Immersive Reader. And
You can, oh, sorry. You can also use Immersive Reader if you open the PDF on Microsoft Edge. You have that ability.
Oh, yes, you're absolutely right. So yes, there are two ways essentially to do it. And with OneNote, I believe you would insert the PDF. And let me see here.
I'm sorry to stop you. We don't see the Immersive Reader on our desktop version. Is that something that we would have to get to the IT department to add for us, or we just see it on the I do see it on the online version, but I do not see it on the desktop version.
Do not see it on the desktop version. In Word?
No, ma'am, we do not.
Okay. Do you see a little arrow by any chance on your ribbon?
Down air. Yes, but whenever that's just not an option for us. Maybe we've got the wrong version.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know the answer to that. The only thing I can think of is if you haven't selected somewhere inside of the document, sometimes it grays out certain options on that ribbon. That's the only thing I can think of.
Okay, that's something we'll work on. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, of course. I'm going to go here and I'm going to insert a PDF document. We'll have that load. And then, so I'm in OneNote right now, and I'm going to go to View, and I have my Immersive Reader. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up. Okay, so it didn't work. I do apologize. I thought you could do it that way. But like Larissa said, I can actually showcase that for us here. So I will go ahead and open up a window here. And I will open up that document. Let me see here. So this is a PDF that was on my computer, and I have that ability to read it out loud. I'm inside my Microsoft Edge browser.
Animal cells. As with all of Earth's organisms, animals are built
so you
from...
do have that ability with PDF, and hopefully that answered your question. I apologize, the OneNote didn't work, but you do have the ability inside of Microsoft Edge. And I was actually going to go ahead and showcase Microsoft Edge for us today. So I'm inside of my browser here, and I just have a page pulled up. We're going to use this one today. And up here inside of my browser, on the right-hand side, I've got this little icon, and this is going to be my Immersive Reader. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up. and I'm inside of this document, this website, you can see that it simplified it. So very similar to the immersive reader that we were seeing inside of Word and Teams. So it's taking away those distractions. And then up here, I've got that ability to have it read out loud.
10 facts about chairs.
And that sounded a little different to us because I was in my voice options right here earlier today, and I chose a voice. And if you click on voice options, it's, as you can see, it's slightly different than the version we were seeing just a little bit ago. But I'm going to select a different voice here. So I had it, I believe it was on Japanese. I can't remember. But up here, I can select an English voice, or I've got all of these different options for myself here. And I can also change that speed, so I can slow it up or down. And I'll go ahead and click X there. And then we're going to see these similar options. They just look slightly different, but the same thing. We can increase that text size. We can also increase the spacing. There's all of our page themes. So if we want a different background for this content, we've got our grammar tools as well. So if we want to turn on the syllables or turn on our parts of speech, and we even got the labels available to us as well. So we have all of those functions available to us in this browser, which is one of the reasons why I absolutely love Microsoft Edge. And I also got line focus, and we're going to see something unique here in that we actually have 3 different types of line focus available. So we were seeing the single line and the third line in Word. I also can see 5 lines at once as well. So whatever is best for our students to help them focus on that content, they've got that option. And we have picture dictionary, of course. And then right here, this is a translation for the document itself. So if we want to translate it to Japanese, there we go. And we'll translate the entire page. We've got it translated for us. And we've got our options here. Now, I do want to point out something that is a little different in this version. When you read it out loud, that is separate.
細胞に関する
That is going to be separate than the translation for reading preferences. So a little bit of a difference there, but I wanted to just point that out in case there was any confusion. Do we have any questions at this time in regards to using Immersive Reader in Edge or anywhere else?
No question. They just said that it's not available on their immersive reader on Word in the desktop. So that means that it's their license.
Yes, I believe you're right. And I'll just open up a blank one real quick here so you guys can see. It should be inside of View. So if you do have it available on your desktop, it's in the View tab, and it's going to be under Immersive. But that does sound like a licensing issue, yes. All right, so I'm going to exit out of that. So I have one more user case I wanted to show you guys today, which is really exciting. And I'm just going to go back to my Office 365 portal, and I'm going to open up Forms. And if you're not familiar with Forms, it's a really fantastic tool to create quizzes or worksheets or polls for your students. And I created a demo quiz here. I'm going to open it up. And I'm selecting preview. That's just going to give me the version that my students are going to see when they receive this quiz. And I wanted to highlight here that when you hover over the title or the questions, it's actually giving you that option once again for Immersive Reader.
1. The cell membrane is also known as what? End of question. Close the reader to input your answer.
And as you can see, it's even telling you where the end of the question is. All of my grammatical and text preferences and even translations are available to my students. And this quiz is inclusive, and it's going to give them that ability to access this content, even if they're having an issue pronouncing a word or reading it. And I'm hovering over all of those questions, and I've got that option, even for the title. So it's really fantastic to see this integrated in Forms as well. And that was the last application I was going to demonstrate for you guys today. I would like to open it up for a Q&A. If you have any questions about Immersive Reader or any use cases for it, I'm happy to discuss any questions you have at this time.
Can you give us just an example of how a teacher may use this in her classroom? Like, what directions would she give for the students? Like, if she was going to just embed this, just say that she was going to embed this into a lesson, how would you, can you just show us a sample lesson of how this could be done and just what that might look like? You know, just to give us an example of how this could be used.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you talking and referring to Microsoft Teams or?
Let's just do something. Let's just do it just in a general passage. I would probably say Word, and of course, you know, we'd have to use the online version of Word. You know, just a general overview would certainly be helpful. Thank you. I mean, I know you showed us like that one, and that was great. Just remind them of how this would look in the classroom.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. So when you assign it, you could give them some instructions on how to, for example, maybe it's for an English lesson, and you want them to utilize Immersive Reader for learning the different types of parts of speech. You could give them instructions on how to open up Immersive Reader and go to the grammar preferences, and you could have them work on viewing the different syllables and also having those labels turned on so they can learn the different parts of speech. Larissa, do you have anything you'd like to input as well?
Maybe if you're going over certain new vocabulary, you can simply, if they don't know how to pronounce that word, you have the ability to use that. That's a perfect example. Or you know, if certain students have if they can't concentrate and they feel overwhelmed by a lot of text, they have the ability to just focus from 1 to 3 lines at a time.
As you were talking about this, I was thinking, you know, honestly, if the teacher, you know, could just break it down. Have you even, how well does this Immersive Reader work if a teacher wanted to do like some kind of screen recording with it? Do you know if it has delayed reaction? How well does that work if she wanted to, you know, just do this as a recording for her students? Have you had any success with that?
Oh, that's a great question. There shouldn't be any lag. That would entirely depend on your internet, of course, but I have never had any issues with that. So I believe like taking a recording of it was actually a really great use case. You could record something and showcase to your students how to use it, or just how to read the content. That's a really great example, yes.
You can also record yourself giving the special directions in Microsoft Teams by recording it. You can, and they can see that recording within Teams.
Can you tell us again how, because I was trying to do it in Edge. How do I get to it from Edge?
Oh yeah, of course. So what you would do is you would just have any web page open, and when you have the web page open, up here where you see the URL, the link for the website, there's going to be this little icon. Now, since you are asking, I am going to point this out. You will occasionally find a web page that's not going to have this icon. So for example, this one right here, it doesn't have that immersive reader icon, but what you will always have access to if this is the case, if you right click on that page, you're going to have the ability to have it read out loud. That's always
Cells
available.
provide structure for the body.
But once again, if it supports immersive reader, that specific website, you have it pulled up. It's that little icon right there. And then it's going to open up this little panel here. So I'll turn it off. And let me turn it back on again for us here. Just by clicking on that icon. And it pulls up these options. And there's read out loud.
10 facts about cells.
And then I'll just click X to exit out of read out loud. And then I've got my text preferences, my grammar tools, and finally those reading preferences as well. Hopefully that answered your question.
Yes, I was able to do it. I just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Now, what about assignments that like tests or something that teachers make? If they make them inside, if they make it in Word or one of the apps, will it read it?
Yes, absolutely. So if you make it in Word or if you wanted to create forms, yep, forms is another great example. And as soon as you share it with them, so this is the students version right here, they're going to see that little icon next to all the questions and everything. And it's the same in that Word.
Okay, and what about switching it to Spanish? Another
switching
language.
to Spanish. Oh, of course, yes. So I'll just open that up.
Okay.
And when they're in Immersive Reader, it's all the way over here where it says Reading Preferences, the little book. And then right here it says Translate. They can scroll through. They can select their language. And they can turn it on just by words. So now if I click on a word, it's going to give me both English and Spanish. Or if we go back inside there and we actually turn it on to the whole document, now they can go back and forth. So they can see the original English and they can switch over to the Spanish version.
But in the form, it's just question by question. Is that correct?
It is, yes. It is
Okay.
question by question.
Okay. All right.
Susie, I was just thinking that needs to be our technology tip next week, to show them how that, Immersive Reader reads on Edge. That's a great tip for parents.
Well, I'm thinking it's a great tip for our ESL teachers.
Definitely.
Or EL teachers. Okay. Yep. It is a great tip.
Any other questions?
I just think we need to play with it.
I completely understand that. It's a fantastic tool. I use it on a daily basis. I love it.
And I think we can probably talk to our technology department about, why it's not available for us in the desktop versions and just see.
Susie, I've already emailed Rodney.
Of course. I think it has something to do too. Sometimes we have issues with syncing and OneDrive and different people being on documents at the same time. And I think it's all about what versions we have.
Oh, yes, that is entirely a possibility.
So you have a question in the chat?
Someone just asked if you could demonstrate it on Edge again, please.
Absolutely. All right, let me just get out of this here.
And I'm going to put the, while you're getting that ready, I'm going to go ahead and put the form for signing in. If we had anybody join us late, please sign in for us. I only have 18 people that have signed in, and I know there's a lot more than that in the group.
Wonderful, thank you. All right, so we are just in a web page. I've just pulled up a regular web page here. And up here where you're seeing the link for the page, so the URL, right here on the right-hand side, there's this little icon. It looks like a book, and we're going to click on that. And as you can see, it's already transformed this page. It's turned it into Immersive Reader. It is a little bit different than, than the Immersive Reader we were seeing in Word and Forms, but we have all of the same tools available to us. So the first one here is Read Out Loud.
10 facts about cells. Human breast cancer cell. Culture science/Rolf
We can have the entire web page read out loud to us. And over here is voice options. So if I want to speed it up, I want to slow it down. I also have different voice types here. So if I want to have it translated, I can do so right here. So here's the Spanish.
Reader diagonal Oxford Scientific diagonal Getty Images. Cells are the fundamental units of
I
life.
can have that read out loud. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just click X to exit out of the voice options or the read out loud here. And now I can see these other options. Here's my text preferences. So I can change that text size. I can change the spacing. If I click on this, it opens up more themes, so I can change that background. I've got my grammar tools, so syllables, parts of speech. I can color code just like in Word or Teams or Forms. I can do all of that here. And then the last one, this is my reading preferences. And what we're actually seeing here is we've got 5, we can do 1, 3, or 5 lines at a time inside of our Edge browser. We've also got picture dictionary once again. So if we click on a word, whoops, I gotta exit out of the line focus here. So if I click on a word here, it's gonna give me a picture.
Cell phones.
Oh yeah, I absolutely love this. And then right here, this is where we translate the entire document itself or the entire web page. So I'll go down here, I'll click Spanish, and I'll turn it on to the entire page. And now I can see the entire translation. So as you can see, I've got all the same tools. It does look a little bit different, but they're all here available to me. And
So,
of course,
okay,
go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, last thing is if you're ever on a web page and you're not seeing this icon, so this was the example I had, I don't see that icon, it's just not supported. I can always right click and I have that ability to read out loud. And I also see the translation option as well in my options here.
Taking nutrients from food and
Oh, I'm sorry, did you have a question?
Well, I was saying, I can't remember. So when you were in Word, there was also the option to identify the parts of speech with different colors from a Word document.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I just wanted to remember.
Yes,
All right.
Did you want to see that in Edge or in Word?
No, I was just thinking like if a teacher put a passage in Word and wanted, children to identify the words or whatever. I don't know. So.
Absolutely. You most definitely have that ability as well,
Okay.
either in Edge or in Word.
Okay. Right.
And hear those options right inside of Word.
Okay.
Do we have any other questions?
Anybody else? So somebody's saying that Google has an extension for it.
Oh, wow.
Well, you may
That-
have to check the, the reviews on it because a lot of times, some of those extensions aren't always reliable or good.
Well, if there's not any other questions, I certainly appreciate it, ladies. And I definitely would like the recording from this because I'm sure there's going to be several people that have questions or want to go back and look at it. And I would love to make some of these our technology tips for this week. And just to kind of set this up, I don't know if you ladies, we've been talking with James. We definitely would like to have you guys back next month to do another training on Teams. We have some people utilizing Teams, but we have several people that are not. Just if you want to just kind of give like an overview. So today, we use this platform Teams, and of course we want Microsoft to come back in November and to do a whole training on another training on Teams, if our staff is available, or if they would like to join us. So.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. And I will let James know and start that communication process with you. So thank you so much. And I want to thank you for having us today. This is a really fun training for us. I always love showcasing Immersive Reader. And thank you everyone for attending and taking time out of your day to attend. And I hope this was helpful for you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, very much. I appreciate it very much, ladies. Thank you. And thank you everyone for taking your time to come. This was an optional training. Make sure you have signed in because of course, if you don't sign in, we can't give you CEU credit for coming. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
And don't forget to send us that recording.
Absolutely. Yes. We'll get right on top of that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.